Hello and welcome to this week's episode of House of Tremere. I hope you're excited for an exciting run where we now have the full cast joining us today. So we will be able to go through all the chaos and strangeness that happened during the last session. And perhaps there are some characters that may need to explain themselves to others. So we will have to see how that goes. Um, Until then, hello! I am Mark, aka the CatsMeow, and this is my channel, the CatsMeow Show, where we play lots of fun TTRPGs with my friends, all around fun, different concepts, and trying something a little different to what you might get from your usual tabletop game. For example, this is House of Tremere. This is my all Tremere game. Oops, all Tremere. And we are currently running through what may just be the end times for the clan. And perhaps these five plucky young Tremere might be able to save their entire clan from destruction at the hands of what may be fate. We'll have to see. While also facing down the many enemies that their clan has made over the centuries. With that, why don't we go to some introductions? Today, let's start off with those who were missing during the last episode. Bob, why don't you start it off with your introduction?
Everyone, Bob here, taking time, Bob. I'm playing Jordy, the super nice and friendly, down to earth, and very empathetic mid level manager. So I'm the person that Karen reports you to. So
Absolutely. All right then, and up next, Cyberbro. Why don't you give us your introduction?
All right. I am Cyberbro. I am reprising my role as Dr. Quentin Quangle, a specialist in the flesh and the mind.
Wonderful. And hopefully we'll get to see more of those specialities in action. Uh, with that, why don't we go to Emily next? Why don't you give us your introduction? Just as you're mid
Hi.
bite.
Yeah, I was gonna say right as I take a bite. Hi, I'm Emily. I play Cass Bryce, and yeah, he's having a time.
That's fair enough. Up next, Ree, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hi everyone, I'm Ree. I play Maruna, and we're seeing what happens when you just follow your instincts, and nothing bad can happen. Right, guys?
Exactly. You're fine. Alright. And last but certainly not least, Zach, why don't you give us your introduction?
Sure. I'm Zach, and I play Hasib Kavisna, who is a young innocent lad who, at one point, thought all of this shattering of the clan was a big test. You know, a test that they have in school because he's a student who still sometimes raises his hand, and he learned last session, or about 2 sessions ago at the end, that it's not a test and everything's falling apart and his world is crumbling. Everyone's going to die and blood is everywhere. So it's all coming together. He's fine. Everything's fine.
Very nice. Alright then. I think with that, who would like to lead this week's recap? Because I also have noted I forgot to do a recap of last week. So who would like to take care of it for this week? Anyone want to volunteer?
There are only 3 of us, and no one else is moving, so
I just
do
kind
it.
of, I almost volunteered, but I really want to hear Emily. So
Yeah, let's do this from Cass's point of view. All right. So last week, Cass got to go on an adventure that he did not want to go on remotely. Maruna was given a task to get a certain book from a a certain sect of the Malkavians, and managed to get Hasib on board very easily, and Kess on board by promising that she now owes him. They went on said adventure. Maruna did not have a plan as to where to find these people, and so what she did was stop the car in a really not great neighborhood next to a random man who seemed like a kindred. Asked the man where the sect of Malkavians were, and the Malkavian man said the doctor would see us. Maruna then just started following the guy. So we lock and leave the car, go to what is an abandoned asylum. But when you go in, it's not abandoned. It has lots of Malkavians in it, and some not Malkavians. And some very smiley nurses that are a little eerily smiley. One guy tries to bite Maruna. Maruna lets him. Cass doesn't. Cass is beginning to question every single one of his life decisions. They meet the doctor. The doctor is very, very creepy, and when he says he'll leave the room and come back, Cass starts freaking out, says he would like to leave, starts getting people out the door. Hasib realizes that the notepad the doctor has been taking notes in is completely blank, so the doctor is using a pen that does not work. But the doctor seemed very interested that Maruna was, quote, thin-blooded, some sort of thing. So Cass told Maruna that they would speak about both of these things, and Cass has even basically forced Maruna out of the fun Malkavian thing we found ourselves in. Our car had been broken into, and now we're on our way back.
Except
Oh.
we have the address.
Yes, we now have the
We
address.
do.
Yes, we got the address from the thing that was broken into the car for.
It's all
Car
part of
was
the
broken into, and an address was left because there was nothing of use in our car.
part of the process, the Malkavian way.
Break our windows.
Exactly. And also we watched as you drove off in the direction of the address. A figure was
Yeah.
standing watching you all in what
Oh.
looked to be a black
yeah.
wedding dress with a dark veil that covered her face.
Oh yeah, that's the thing you wanted to give me nightmares with at the end of it.
Exactly.
I remember now. My mind had blocked it out.
All right then. Well, I think with that, I think we can begin. So why don't we start off with some music? Music. House of Tremere, Episode 7. Truly, madly, deeply. We watch as we focus in on another radio. This one inside the dark halls of the mental wellness facility that our Tremere had recently found themselves in. We watch as we move down the creepy halls. We see the bright wallpaper. Some of them would look to be smiles on them. But as we move further along, we can see that some of the smiles seem to be running down the wall, as if they were drawn there. Some look to be in ink, some in perhaps something best not mentioned, and finally, of course, crimson red. as we focus in on a desk where we watch a radio start to trickle to life. Alright, Night Owls. This next one's a slow burn classic. You know the kind. Makes you think about every hand you ever held and every name you never should have forgotten. From 97, here's a track from the heartsick and the hopeful alike. Savage Gardens, truly, madly, deeply. Sink into it, lovers. As we hear the soft guitar strums begin, it is suddenly interrupted by a crackling burst of static that overtakes the song. A warped, distant voice cuts through the static. Low and wet, like it's crawling through an old telephone line. We see you. Beneath. Behind. Inside. The night has teeth. Stay away, for it has already begun. We then hear another burst of static before the music kicks back in, almost as if it didn't happen. Okay, what the hell was that? One of the fucking pirate radio freaking messing with my frequencies again. Oh well, seems like everything's fixed again. Enjoy your night, my lovelies. And I'll see you all soon enough. This is Savage Gardens, truly, madly, deeply. No interruptions this time. Fingers crossed. We then cut to another radio as we hear it beginning to play the beautiful, haunting song of Truly, Madly, Deeply. Before we watch someone quickly turn off the car radio, as we focus in on what looks to be a van with our 3 lovely Tremere currently driving to their new destination. Kess, I imagine you were probably the one to turn off the radio after the situation that you've dealt with.
100%. He's in the back too, so it's like a reach all the way
Yeah,
up
reach around.
and smack it off.
Perfect.
Verna just leans out of the way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hasib's probably mumbling under his breath, but says, "Have you found the insurance forms in the glove box, Maruna? It has to be in there."
Oh, one second. I think, is this it?
Hasib tries to take a glance, but his eyes are always on the road.
Yeah. Keep your eyes on the road. We'll look at it after.
He nods. He's a bit distraught at this point. He keeps looking in the mirror on the side of the vehicle and the center mirror to see if anybody's following them.
I think we're on the right track now.
I hope so. I believe in your visions. So where is this address taking us? Actually, could you say it again? Maybe I can remember whereabouts.
What was the address on the paper?
And
No.
and you don't have to give. Hasib does have
eidetic memory.
Eidetic memory, so he is. Yeah, he does. He's memorized the city, at least the streets, on a piece of paper.
She would relay it. Read it off with a note.
Alright then. With that, you guys begin driving in the direction of the address you have been given. with that, we find ourselves cutting back to the chantry and to two of the other Tremere that are currently busy in the middle of their own private researches. Is it this time we move back a bit in the state of time as we focus upon Philomena's arrival to the chantry just before the other three have left for their little misadventure. At this point, where would we find Geordie and Dr. Quangle?
Library.
Yeah, or I guess we were doing research, not experiments, right? So it would be library then. Yeah.
Yep.
Alright then. It is at this time, as you are deep in the books, the door to the library opens, and a familiar figure steps in, that of Philomena Morvel, the other Encile of the chantry.
Oh, Lady Malvo. What brings you to the chantry? Quangle bows, kind of surprised to see her here and alive.
Indeed. I don't think Jordy will admit it, but he's all of a sudden, he's like, oh, I guess Hasib was right.
She simply looks to the both of you and says, "And what have I missed while I was away?"
Something tells me you know.
Quangle would just look at Jordy like, you gotta explain. You're the guy.
So it's true.
Are you
The regent is dead.
not just the regent?
So it is as I feared. Well then,
Your childer was insistent that we contact you, but we attempted to do so, and your phone number was disconnected.
yes, the power at my manor was disconnected by someone.
Interesting.
And that is quite unfortunate, ma'am.
Quite. Well then, what have you been doing in the meantime? And are there any others of our blood that you have found?
Kaya still lives.
I see.
But it seems that he looks to Quangle to make sure Quangle's like comfortable. Like he's basically looking for a visual cue that Quangle's okay with him proceeding to fill in the detail here.
Yep. Quangle would notice that, of course. They've been working together for a while. Quangle just nods, like, yeah, might as well tell her everything.
It seems our blood might be failing. The bond is not working. So the ghouls, including the unbound, are free. On top of that, it seems that others are experiencing slight lifelike symptoms.
Lifelike symptoms.
Yes. What I've begun to notice is individuals within the chantry are experiencing echoes of life. Let me bring my notes up 1 second, ma'am. Quangle, and I bring up my notes. Okay. have this written down. Yes, lifelike echoes. Yes.
Curious. With that, you watch as an older gentleman also enters into the library holding what looks to be a large amount of books that have been stacked upon each other. As he just brings it in and turns and goes, Mom, where would you like these to be placed? With that, she just kind of gestures over to a corner where there's a desk. The older man just nods and then takes the books over and lays them down. As he does, there is an echoous thud from the weight of the books that collide into the table.
Um, if you beg my pardon, ma'am, I've been attempting to bring forth the Dewey Decimal System into the library. I if we leave those books on the table, that'd be fine. But if we're trying to put them back on the shelves, I would ask that I be consulted on that. Just a
These
mere
are of
request.
my private collection, Dr. Quangle.
Thank you.
With that, she moves over and shifts a few books aside before pulling out what looks to be a much smaller one with no title that seems to be bound in a leather. A leather. What would you call that? Bound in leather. It looks to be more of a diary than a proper text. As she moves over to you and opens up and begins flicking through a few pages. I see. What else have you found about this condition that has been developing?
Well,
No,
it appears. Oh, excuse me, please. I wouldn't want to speak over it. Jordy's the regent now.
And who decided that?
Mm, Well, we were in a bit of a situation. You see, the chantry was ungoverned, and unfortunately, doors would lead to certain rooms that we couldn't control. It was a bit of chaos going on, and Jordy stepped up and led us through this. Those of us here, so we. And at the time, we were only aware of only us at present the chantry surviving. So we decided collectively that it should be Jordy due to his leadership abilities.
I see. And it looks over to you, Jodie, for a moment before returning herself to the book. As I was saying, are there any other symptoms that have been noticed? Or any other independent research you have done in the meantime?
we're currently assessing generation to see if it has any impact.
And have you found it to have any?
Not yet confirmed, but it doesn't look that way.
I
Of
see.
note, at the time that we believe the event occurred with the pyramid, all of us present here, we experienced some burning and pain in the chest. Um, that is the most dire symptom that individuals have come forth with thus far.
I see. Make some notes.
I do have some hypotheses based on our history. It could be, as we all know, the nature of our blood. With the pyramid intact, we were stable. But now that the pyramid is crumbled, to use a term that's been going around the chantry, this is me cerebral coughing. Sorry. That may have something to do with it. More than likely, that is the cause. There may be ways that we could insulate ourselves, but I personally believe that most chantries are dealing with the same issue. However, just because something has crumbled doesn't mean it can't be put back together in a similar shape or form. A pyramid can be an obelisk, perhaps. Hmm. These are just thoughts.
I see. Dr. Quangle, are you familiar with the history of the clan of Tremere?
In so much as what was explained to me when I joined the clan, so to say, there's probably more information there, but I haven't been able to peruse through all of the books present in the library. It was very unorganized.
Once the Tremere were a house of, for lack of a better term, mages. This isn't like the simple magics that we can perform of. We're speaking of true magic. I'm getting some interference on my end, actually.
I'm not seeing anyone light up.
Is it coming through on stream? I think it might just be my headphones then.
The disruption.
Yep, these headphones are fucked. Let me fix this.
Try the classic, turn it off and back on.
Well, I turned them off and they still made the noise. So I think they're broke. So we're just gonna continue with this like this for now. Just do let me know if you start hearing people through my microphone, and I'll try and make some adjustments. Alright. So, where was I? Apologies about that. The history of our clan. We were not simple warlocks or witches. They were wielders of the true magic. Ones able to bend reality to their whim. However, there was one thing that not even true magic was able to achieve. Immortality. Mages eventually will die, though they attempt to extend their life beyond their means, but eventually they reached a point where they could no longer do so. That was where our founder found or had an idea. A way of taking the blood of kindred and transforming it, and then turning it into our own. From a single vessel, he built an entire clan, separated from the rest of their kind. I'm beginning to think if such a ritual might not have been as wholly complete as would have been desired. I believe, at least from what I can put together from my research, that the ritual that made us into kindred is failing.
Good lady, the was the intent to become kindred, or was the intent just immortality? What was the goal?
I think that is a question that can only be answered by the Council of Seven, who we currently have no way of contacting.
One follow-up question. We say the pyramid, and obviously that's a metaphor for what magic binds us. But do the individual kindred make up the bricks of the pyramid?
It's a
Does that make
little
sense?
more complicated. Power flows down from the top of the pyramid to the bottom, and the bottom, in exchange, supports the top and ensures that the strength is laid out among the many. However, I must also confess that this is not the first time I have been looking into this abnormality of the blood, as this has been in consideration for quite some time. It is not the fall of the pyramid that has caused this. It has been
You mean
an eventuality for quite some time.
could the breaking down of the blood be what caused the fall of the pyramid?
It is possible. But in truth, I do not know. There was no signs like the breaking of bonds that I have noticed. Originally, it was, from my understanding, it was just the blood was becoming more malleable than it should have been, as if it was reverting to the moment that it was being created. There has been some noticing of those of thinner blood being created, not just of our clan, but of others, as well of the development of strange powers that are not normally found within the clan of Tremere. Those who have gifts of other blood, as if it's somehow seeped through, for lack of a better word.
Fascinating.
At first, it was thought to be a mutation of some sort, but it seems more that it's whatever was being used, whatever ritual was used to bind the blood, to control it, so that it would form in the way that Tremere would have desired it, is failing. And
And if our blood fails, what happens to our blood magic?
it failed as well. For quite some
There's
time, there have
something
been some notices of failing rituals, blood magic failing to activate and come to the power when called.
Jordy looks noticeably panicked, like he's just caught on to something.
At first,
Oh, no.
it was believed to be connected to the uh, odd goings on that has been happening as of late, within the past century or so. I believe some kindred have taken to calling it Gehenna or some sort.
There are Assamites in town.
Now
They've
that
been
is
accepted
concerning.
by the prince. And if we have no counsel and our blood is failing, what would happen to their blood curse?
Oh. This is very dangerous. All of this. This is. Right. Well, I have been researching possible solutions to our current condition. At this point, you can tell there's like a manic energy that's beginning to rise in her. I have been trying to track down a few texts that talk of the creation of the Tremere ritual, but a lot of it is more circumstantial than anything. There are no direct references to the creation rites and what exactly went behind it, and I'm afraid that the only way to find something might be Well, traveling to Vienna, which will be extremely dangerous at this point in time, as we do not even know if the chantry in Vienna still stands, or if this whole situation is localized to the Americas.
The regent was called to a meeting when he passed. He stepped through a mirror.
I see.
He didn't quite make it back out, not in one piece.
Ah,
We are still in possession of the mirror. In addition to the hand of the regent, I placed it in embalming fluid. Jordy and I were considering using the hand and potentially a necromancer of some sort to conduct a seance so we could ask the regent questions.
you know of a necromancer?
I'm I have certain connections that will come at great cost, but I can call upon one experienced in corpses and such.
Well, to close her book. Perhaps if I may see the mirror, I might be able to track down to which chantry it seemed to have been heading. I do have a few books on the transport mirrors. She kind of moves through some of her books, going from one to one before pulling one out.
Do you know what sort of council the regent might have been in? Who he? We were on a. We were told when we were told. All we knew is that he had an important meeting with other Tremere, and that was where he was going.
Well, from what I understand, there was supposedly to be a meeting of the Tremere within the Americas. Something about something happening in New York. Some sort of reclamation, I believe. I do not know if you're aware, but New York has for a long time been a bastion of our enemies in the Sabbat. And there were a few individuals that were seeking to make a change.
Doesn't seem to matter now, does it?
Dear
I'm not
Jordy,
sure we can trust the Camarilla to have our backs in this.
No, I don't believe
they
so
s-
either.
From what I know of the Tremere and the views the others have on us, we're here because we're useful. If we stop being useful, I think it would be very easy for them to discard us or to simply step out of the way. We have a lot of enemies, a lot of wards, a lot of curses, and everyone we've relied on, every ward we have in place, if it's under threat of fail, the wolves will be on our doorstep soon. We have to do something. I'm surprised we haven't seen the Assamites yet. They were at. They announced themselves. They were present at Elysium.
Why would the Assamites be here? And why would they come here as members of the city? Unless
They presented the night with the regent.
I wonder.
And
Such an occurrence implies that there was prior knowledge of some sort of ill event happening to us that that individuals took advantage of to get the Asamites here.
Not necessarily. The Asamites have always been. Well, they've not exactly been social with the Camarilla, either due to our own involvement or their personal ideals. But for them to come here and seek membership within a city, something more has to be going
They
on.
could be, they could be running from something, asylum, or maybe refugees within their own clan. That could be a possibility.
Hmm. In either case, we must be on our guard.
We have one other issue. The Unbound, the dog gargoyle, is loose in the city.
I see. And I assume Caius hasn't decided that he's going to clean it up, has he?
He's insisted we do.
That sounds like him. Well, do you have any plans for it?
We have certain divination rituals that we've researched that can narrow down the area the creature is in. Once the others return, I believe we can enact said rituals and strike at the creature. Assessing the location, of course, we wouldn't want to go to a school or something and do battle there.
I see. Good. Then she kind of looks around for a moment and goes, "Where are the others?"
They were given permission to seek out errands, consult with others, and actually to find you.
Yes, they did. I
Oh.
thought they were coming in after me, but it seems not.
For what it's worth, I like your idea better. It seems like we're going after this Unbound. There are bigger things to deal with than that.
Yes,
What does any of it matter if we all are undone?
I do agree. In either way, this should probably be discussed with the whole clan. Those who are still left, at least.
Well, they left hours ago. He says, looking at Quangle.
You know, they're young. They're probably taking the scenic route.
Hasib keeps going on about those cellular phones. Should be nice if he had one.
They're so expensive, though.
Does Hasib have a cellular phone? Oh, does Ketch have a
I
cellular
mean,
phone? Okay.
Kess does. I think Asib did have one, and then
Mhm.
Spam called people at one point and got it revoked by the leadership, so he doesn't.
Mhm.
It's the exact same scene as what happened with the camera. Exact
Yeah,
same.
exactly.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we have your musing of that, and then we like cut away to the scene of you having someone crush the phone.
This is just a recurring experience in Hasib's life.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Quangle saying, Jordy, do something about that, and Jordy crushing it.
Mm. I think with that, we see Philomena return to the scene where Philomena goes, "What of the child of Caius? He not carry the cellular device?"
Perhaps I have my book. I'll see if I can find it.
Very well. Dr. Quangle, we shall continue what research we can here. There needs to be a text somewhere that will have more information about what happened.
What role would you recommend I go through to just maybe I've already filed that book and it's just who knows. So is there a good role just to do a quick like memory search? Like, have I seen something like this?
Intelligence, actually, we'll do a perception occult for this one.
Okay. It wasn't about, doctory things, so
Mm.
it didn't interest me.
You see a lot of books.
So there's a lot of books, and they all talk about leeches for some reason. So you said perception and then occult?
Yep,
Or
perception occult.
all right, submit modifier. No. Difficulty 6.
That works.
Okay. No willpower. Public. P and O. Submit.
One success. As you're kind of looking around, you don't recall having any books like that. Remind me, Maruna, what did you do with the book that had no cover?
It is currently with me.
Okay. So you look around and you simply don't find any texts that match what you want. But you do seem to recall there being something that might have been useful for that, but it's been a while and you can't quite find it. You'd have to go through all of them, and it'd be a slow process.
I wish my helpers were here. They would make this an easier process. I informed Philomena of the missing book. It will take some time for me to find it. I believe I saw something on of that nature, but it will take some time.
Very well. Till then, I'll continue what research I can. She starts to go through her own books, taking out her leather-bound journal and starts making notes in there.
Okay? I'll fill in Philomena's name and her bagman's name on the library roster.
Good.
Into the library.
I'm gonna make sure. I think with that, we're gonna cut away to a large van driving down the streets of the more abandoned districts of New Angleham. Specifically, we are around here. As you pull up to the address to find yourselves at what looks to be an abandoned building. What looks to have once been a large factory of some sort, but has been left to ruin, and you can already see the grass and weeds have begun to become overgrown. Some of it even like punching through the concrete and starting to crawl up the buildings.
I can go in by myself this time.
No, you can't. New rule. When I say we leave, we leave.
All right.
Don't leave anything of value in the car. We're missing a window.
Right. Everyone have their walkie-talkies. I'm
I
still.
see we're all in the same place.
Right, but what if we're split up? What if we're being chased by mad nurses who want to give us syringes of mystery things?
Lead the way, Maruna.
She'll kind of take the note in her hand, has the moon drawn on it with the address, and kind of look at the place and step towards it for an entryway.
Sorry, repeat that.
She'll step towards the abandoned building
Alright.
and look for an entryway.
There looks to be a bit where there's some large doors. One of them looks to have been almost completely rusted shut, but the other one actually seems like it's been used a few times, so it actually has like some markings on the ground where it's opened and scraped against.
She'll gently try pushing it open.
You slowly open the door. We hear the loud creaking sound as this large door slowly swings open. You look out to what looks to be a large abandoned factory floor. A lot of big open spaces where large machinery perhaps would have once been. And you can also see what looks to be stairs that goes up to what was probably some sort of foreman's office. And there seems to be some scaffolding around, and what were once like metal pathways that kind of hung from the ceiling. Some of them look to have rusted away, and some of them have broken off and fallen to the ground.
Any signs of life? Recent
No,
activity?
not from you can see it from the entranceway at least. You might have to make your way further in. It is also pitch black in here, as there is no light.
Okay. Hello?
Your
She'll
voice
take a few more steps in.
echoes around. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Oh, yeah, here. I suppose Maruna, you can have it if you're going in first. And he reaches into his backpack and he pulls out a pretty hefty and high powered flashlight.
Thank you. So we'll turn it on and make our way in further. Up the stairs, if there's nothing really, nowhere else to go.
Make your way up the stairs and you hear the creaking as you do. Eventually you make your way up to what is a small foreman's office that looks to have long been since abandoned. As you do, the door creaks open as you step inside and you hear a voice. What are you doing here?
Followed the note. Did you leave it? Was it you?
I don't know anything about a note.
Oh. Apology.
What's your
My
name?
is Maruna.
Maruna.
I'm hoping that you can help me.
What do you seek from us?
A book.
A book.
Yes.
Are you here to dance in the moonlight?
I would like to.
And what of your blood? they told you about what you are?
That my blood is thin, is that what you mean?
Sorry, repeat that again.
That my blood is thin, is that what you mean?
He nods slowly.
I'm aware.
And welcome, sister. And with that, you watch as he turns, lights a torch, and begins to lead you down the other side of the Pullman stairs, leading back down to the main floor. What are the other two doing?
I've been a half step behind Maruna this entire time. He is not. We are not doing this again.
Yeah, Hasib's kind of cowering in the back, looking this way and that, twitching a bit, watching our back, or at least trying to in the darkness. He's squinting hard.
Alright. With that, you watch as he leads you down the stairs to the main floor, and then over to what looks to be a hatch that he opens up and leads into an underground part of the factory.
She'll kind of whistle. Are there more of you down there?
He looks to you, and then he looks to the person following you. Some
Your
of
friend.
us. And he begins making his way downstairs.
She'll follow.
How do we know we can trust them?
We don't.
We have a choice.
No choice. I mean,
We've had a number of choices.
Sometimes you have to take a leap of
Two out of the three so far that you've made would have gotten you killed, but you know, who's counting?
Perhaps that's why you're here.
we'll make sure no one
Over us.
will bite you. There's no biting. We'll make sure there's no biting this time.
Oh no, she's fine with that.
How is your neck doing? By the way, that looked not so good.
I'll be fine. It'll heal. As wounds do.
Can we get this over with so that I can go home?
Yes.
Alright then. You make your way deeper into the bowels of the long-forgotten factory. Eventually, you come across what looks to be an encampment of the destitute. You see what looks to be like large oil drums that have small fires burning in them. A number of tents that have been set up around this large underground area. And a number of people that when you walk by look up to stare at you as you walk past them. Though the man leading you continues to move past them without paying them any mind.
She'll nod and smile to anyone who looks at her, but she'll keep following.
As you can see, some of them have strange, prominent fangs that are a constant. They don't seem to be able to get rid of, leaving them in an awkward snarl constantly. While others seem to be much paler. Some look almost human and lifelike. There's almost like a soft glow to their skin, as if they were still alive. And they all just seem to watch you as you move by. Eventually, you are led to what looks to be almost a circle of people that are gathered. And as the man who leads you stops, he calls out to them, "The guest has arrived." As you see the circle of people turn to look at you.
Thank you for welcoming me here.
With that, you see a figure begin to hobble over. As you look at her, you realize it is an old lady. Kind of looks at you through milky, clouded eyes and goes, You are the Rune Child. Come to pay us a visit.
Yes.
Good, good. All are welcome in the Moon Mother's light. Come, come. We're just about to begin the ritual. What of your friends? She looks behind you, towards the other two. A smile with crooked teeth.
She'll kind of like look to them and see if they want to introduce themselves. She's not going to presume that Kess wants these people to know his name. So
Nope, he is looming behind her, glaring at anyone who gets remotely near, looks at them, breathes near them.
And Haseeb is almost the opposite. When he heard ritual, he almost his mood changes instantly. He smiles and waves and says, "Oh, hello. I am Haseeb. Did you say something about a ritual? I would very much like to see or participate. How can I help?"
You. She sniffs at the air. Unfortunate. No, you cannot participate. But you, my dear. She turns to you, Maruna. Come, come. He reaches out to take your hand and starts leading you towards the ritual circle.
she'll give an apologetic look. See, and he's really very good.
Oh, I'm sure. He was just unfortunate circumstances he finds himself in. Oh, yes.
What do you know of the magic of the mind? Can you feel it? Can you feel what's missing?
No, my mind is here. Here it is. No, but he is one that serves the Cloud Father. No. No one can be allowed here that would hide the light of the Moon Mother. She must shine down upon us, child. Yes, Emily?
Tess is
Yes,
still a half step behind. He didn't stop following because
Alright.
she said no. Because she said no to Haseeb also.
No, she does kind of look to you and scowl as well.
Yeah, no, I'll just scowl back. It's fine.
I will say, as you're kind of looking at her, you can tell she is blind. She cannot see you. Oh, she cannot see anything, but she does seem to look directly at you in a sea when referring to you.
I'm sure.
Maruna's kind of just awkwardly like, it's like, I'm not gonna tell Kess to. You're not gonna say anything because I'm already asking a lot here. If he wants to be a bodyguard, then.
So he moves you towards the circle where you can see there looks to be a number of individuals that are gathered around. A lot of them seem like they come from a lot of different walks of life. You see one, which is a guy with what looks to be a shaved head. You can see that he's wearing like a short sleeve, and you can see there's like a number of scars in the crook of his arm that look to be from drug use of some sort. Needles, you'd imagine. You can also see what looks to be a girl who doesn't seem like she could be older than 16, and she kind of stands there staring at you kind of blankly. You also see what looks to be an older woman, not quite as old as the other woman, but someone who looks like they could be in their maybe like their early 50s. And she kind of looks to you and goes, "So you are the one that the maiden told us about."
Perhaps I haven't. I know I was meant to come here. Perhaps you can help me learn more.
Of course. Come, child. Join us in the ritual.
All right.
And with that, you watch as they seem to link hands with each other. The old lady grabbing your hand, kind of chuckling to herself as she does, as she takes someone else's. And she seems to be staring at you through this whole process.
She will take the hands of whoever else is next to her.
As you do... Oh, go ahead.
Hasib is watching intently, but he's also peeking around for a book. We came here for a damn book, and now we're doing Ring Around the Rosie. Is there any book around these parts?
Not really you can see, but there is seem to be in the middle of their like circle some sort of like wooden dais that would hold what looks to be a book. You know, it's got like that kind of wood thing, so a book could sit on it. Be opened.
Okay.
And you watch as all of them close their eyes, and the woman in her 50s kind of looks around for a moment, taking a deep breath in, and says, "Oh, to the grace, Mother Moon, may her light shine down upon us, and free us from the clouded temptation of the Father of Clouds. We will be open and free to the truth that is often hidden, to the love that will find us. Even in darkness there is light, and in light there is darkness. No one is beyond sin. To hide from sin is to hide from the truth. We shall awaken all in the Mother's light." With that, she takes her hands away from the two people whose hands goes on the side as she turns around and picks up what looks to be something that's covered in a large cloth, before moving over to the center of the dais and laying it down, removing the cloth to reveal a book with what looks to be the silver symbol of a half moon. The book you're looking for.
Kind of smiles at it.
Runechild, you may read of the text if you desire.
Thank you.
That the old lady at your side goes, "Go on, come on, come on." Starts pulling you towards the center where the book is.
She will gently take the.
Isn't it beautiful? Read it. See what it has to say.
It is.
Let it speak to you.
She'll open it.
You open the book, and you see that it is written in a language you do not recognize.
Seems to be a theme. She'll still kind of just put her hand over it and try to like feel the vibes of it, even if she can't exactly read it.
Why don't you make me a... Let's do wits and a...
Difficulty?
This will be difficulty 7 in this case. Alright. 4 successes, as ones do not count. As you focus on it, you close your eyes and for a moment you see a vision. You see a woman standing in a breeze. Next to her is a large tree. She stands in a flowing black dress. As she turns to look at you, you see from the tree grow beautiful fruit. What looks to be pomegranates that hang from them. You watch as she steps forward towards you and holds out in her hand what looks to be a pomegranate that has been broken in half. It is currently bleeding down into her palm and then down her arm. She holds it out to you with a soft smile, though you can't see her eyes.
Take it gently.
As you reach out to grab the pomegranate and pull it from her hand, you see that her hand shifts from something that was live and beautiful into something gnarled and sharp. As you watch her whole body begin to transform into a far more monstrous fight. You see the smile is filled with sharp teeth that look upon you.
Are you the mother they speak?
I am the mother of all child. I am the mother of monsters. As she reaches forward, you feel her hand go to cup your cheek, and then you feel the pain of claws digging into your flesh. And then the feeling of comfort, of a soft hand against your cheek. Then the pain returns as the claws are digging deeper into your flesh and into your soul. A mix of pain and pleasure.
What is it that you want?
I want what anyone wants. What's mine? Suddenly the vision disappears and you're standing with the book in your hands. You feel an inkling from the back of your mind of your insight calling to you. You need to leave. You're in danger. Something is going to get you if you stay here any longer. This place is not safe. And then another voice intercedes. Stay. Here you'll be able to find your destiny. Find out more about what is happening. You should stay and find out. But you know that voice is not your own. It is something that is interceding. And that is terrifying.
Thank you all. Thank you all for having me. I have to be going.
You see the lady in her 50s kind of narrow her eyes slowly. The old woman that holds you on goes, no, you can't leave yet. Still more to do, more of the ritual to complete. The proceedings are not over. Come. See
She
the
said
maiden.
she was ready to leave. Thank you for your hospitality. And he's going to. I assume Maruna's still holding the book.
She
Am
is.
I right?
Yes,
He's going to take the book if Maruna lets him.
she will.
And he's going to hand it to the old lady.
She's still hanging onto Maruna's arm.
She'll
Well,
kind of. I have to. Perhaps I'll come back, but I have to go now.
Come
I'm sorry.
back. But you only just arrived, darling.
I feel something's not right. Something's not right.
Everything is fine.
I
You'll
dropped
be
the book.
perfect. Maiden is coming.
I'm gonna
We are all late for class. As Asib looks at his watch.
grab Maruna and start pulling. We're going.
She's gonna reach down and grab the book.
Alright.
She'll let Kes pull her away.
You go and you pick up the book. The old lady is still holding your arm at this point as you pick it up with the other one. Kes, as you're pulling Maruna away, this old lady is surprisingly strong and seems to be holding her ground. It's also at this point I'd like all of you to roll me a d10.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. It's fine. It's so fine. I got a 7.
Alright.
It's not a 1. Don't know if the ones were good or bad yet, but
Hopefully, we want high numbers.
So
So-
she's not letting go, and she's winning the tug of war for Maruna at this point, right?
What's your strength?
I will. I can if I add my strength to it. Does it make a difference?
It might.
Please?
What's your guys' strengths?
Not a lot, but probably.
The 1.
Cass is at a 1. Maruna is also at a 1.
Probably also
Alright.
a 1.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I'm doing strength athletics, it's 2. Can I? Oh, I heard myself. I don't want to get out the knife. I really don't.
Hasib's looking at the others as he's starting to wring his hands. What are the others doing as this tug of war starts to happen?
They're watching.
Tess is pulling at
Yeah.
Maruna and has a hand in his pocket.
Mhm. The old lady is still pulling on your arm, Maruna, and is like, "No, stay, please stay." And she is surprisingly strong. She has a higher strength than both of y'all.
I'm gonna try to cast. I guess I'm gonna try to put on awe
All right.
to get her to listen to me. It's the only thing I have, really.
All right then. Roll to activate all.
And I'm gonna, I think, use willpower for this one. Do I have to do that ahead of time, or can I do it afterward? Just when I see.
Normally you have to do it ahead of time.
Okay. So what I'll do then is do willpower use yes, and then would I add as a modifier?
You can add 1 as a modifier.
Okay.
So, while that's being rolled, this is effectively, from what we've seen,
Mm-hmm.
a Malkavian cult.
Make an intelligence occult.
Okay.
So that is... Botches don't count for this one, so that's 2 successes.
Cool. And what that should mean is that I think that means 2 people.
2 people, yeah.
Uh,
Ones don't count for this, as it is not in ritual rule. 3 successes. You're looking around. Though it may seem like they're Malkavians, you think these people are probably Thin Bloods. And this is some sort of Thin Blood community that's gathered around this book.
So it's not a religious cult?
It looks like a religious cult, but they don't seem like Malkavians. There's not that kind of...
No. Okay. Re, go on with what you were doing, and then I'll say what I'm doing.
Okay. So it says that I can influence, people, and that they will be more receptive and
Yeah. See the old lady kind of still holding her hand and it goes, "You don't want to stay? Oh.
Not right now. Your moon mother is important. I have other callings as well.
Okay, but be careful.
I will. I promise.
And Father disguises all. He will seek his revenge upon his children.
I will find the truth.
You've seen it, haven't you?
Yes.
You see, like,
That's why I have to go.
tear begin to well up in her eye. These tears are themselves blood as they begin to drip down her cheeks as she goes.
Chill.
It's coming. All of it.
Haruna.
She's going away.
She releases your hand.
Goodbye.
Yes. Bye.
Just crosses himself on the way out.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're out of sight, Kaz starts effectively jogging and just dragging the 2 shorter people with him.
It is with that as you guys begin making your way out. We see one of the figures, what looks to be the one with the needles in his arm, go. So we done with all this? We just gonna let him take the book? I thought we were supposed to keep it, look after it. And you see the older lady in her 50s go. We're doing as the maiden wanted of us. We will not question her word. He just kind of shrugs and walks off. The older lady just kind of sits there, her little finger playing in the dirt. Bony finger. He needs to be careful. else, all of them will be destroyed. And with that, we cut away. To the three figures scampering away from the old, decrepit factory, returning back to the vehicle. It has not been broken into again.
We wouldn't know because the
Yeah,
It's
window's
true,
already
yeah.
broken. So
The other
be
window
fair.
was smashed. No,
The other one. They said it has to be even.
yeah.
Hasib, start the car. Let's go. We're going home.
He slams the door, starts the ignition. Are we done running around for at least
Yes.
one night?
Yes,
Yes.
we're done. No, we're done for a very long time. Home.
Maruna
Okay.
just kind of, she has the book and she's just very, as they get in the car and she has the book in her arm, she just kind of looks relieved and sighs. Thank you. Both.
Can we know why we have done this book? You've been very secretive about it. And I mean, it's fine. If the people have their own things. I mean,
Someone-
Kes does.
Someone important. Someone important needs it.
And then, as he kind of like nods as he's driving, taking a quick glance. There are many important people. I mean, but now with things so hectic and dire, what could have made you risk all of this? We don't know any of these people.
She kind of looks a bit sad, almost hesitant. Sometimes, Hasib, when you're human, you need to breathe. You need to eat. Even now, we need to sleep. There are things that they're not a choice, they're not an option. We need to do them to exist, live. This is one of the things.
I don't like it. I don't like when you're this cryptic. It's whatever. And Hasib just turns back towards the road and perhaps even going over the speed limit for a second.
She's kind of considering for a moment. Hasib, you know what a blood bond is?
Of course, well, I've read of them, and of course we've had them in the past, maybe not now.
You know, then. You know what it feels like.
The only one I had was towards my sire back when I was created. Or embraced. Sorry. Is this for your sire?
No. My sire. I have a unique relationship with my sire. But he wasn't the one who showed me the ways of kindred.
Your sire didn't show you these things. That a sire is supposed to. That is one of their duties. Where are they now?
I don't. Where he speaks to me some. But I can never seem to. See, I didn't choose to be like this. I didn't choose this death.
What do you mean? We all choose. The sire comes to us, offers us a deal that really can't beat, but there are conditions and, of course, terms. And Hasib kind of mumbles a few things. His embrace was very punctual and business transaction like. He kind of slows to a stop at a stop sign, and there's no one at this intersection. What do you mean? The clan doesn't allow these things, right? And he kind of looks back towards Kess is sitting in the back, quiet. Right, Kess? These that's not a right.
Kess is grinning bitterly, looking out a window, smoking. He does not answer.
The clan allows a.
I cut out for a sec there.
The clan allows a lot of things. I liked my life. The way it wasn't always wonderful, but I had friends, had you. Didn't want to leave. And what do you do when you wake up in a room with a stranger who just attacked you? You run. You run as fast as you can and you don't look back. Because if you want to survive. Sometimes you run in the wrong direction. And with that, she'll kind of just turn her head and look out the window on her side.
Yeah, Steve will kind of bow his head for a second and not know what to say to that. He's struggling to find to express anything at this point. So he refocuses on the road. He leaves the stop sign, and we continue on.
All right. With that, we focus on the Tremere mobile pulling up outside of the chantry. And we watch as you all exit the vehicle and begin to make your way inside. However, before we cut to the scene of you all reuniting, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Alright, so we will see you all in a bit. Stick around for the next part of House of Tremere. Till then.
Then.
There we And we are back. Hello, and welcome to the second part of episode 7 of House of Tremere. Truly, madly, deeply. We pick up where we last left off with our three outgoing Tremere returning back to the chantry. As we see them, the doors open wide and they step in. And Geordie, you feel a ping in the back of your mind. The others have returned.
All right. Where am I? Am I back with Quangle at this point?
I imagine
I
you would
probably
be
wasn't
back with
successful finding the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You found the number and you were pretty much about to call it,
okay.
but then you get the ping in the back of your mind.
I'll look at Quangle and say, they've returned.
Very good. I assume you'll be giving them a talking to. I found the library phone. It is old and dusty, and it from the 50s, I think.
Right. And with that, he gets up and he'll make his way out to greet the others.
All right. As you guys find yourself stepping into the foyer, trying to move around before the door opens and you see Geordie step in from the library.
Greetings, Regent. Fine night for some fresh air. We are back.
A lot later than expected.
We did have some got turned around a few times in our efforts.
We're here now.
What were those efforts, by chance?
I had an errand to run. A text
I know
need to
that-
get. She'll hold up the book.
He nods. It seems Miss Morvel is here, Hasib.
Yes, we brought her. We went to her manor and we brought her back. I'm assuming she has moved in and settled in.
He's with us in the library.
Perfect. Perhaps I can assist in whatever direction we're going with our studies. Have we decided on a particular direction?
We'll discuss it in the library, but all things considered, I think our biggest risk right now is what is happening to our blood.
Do we know how long we have to
Not yet.
find it? Oh.
Miss Morvel thinks that this has been happening for some time. That the catalyst for the change in the blood was not all at once. It wasn't what happened to the pyramid. Perhaps the pyramid sped things up.
The plants were dying before.
I'll warn you all to be especially careful traveling the streets now. It dawned on me that if our blood is failing and rituals may be failing, so too might any curses and wards that we've placed on enemies and foes, including the Assamites.
that mean we should think of certain protections and defenses, both here at the chantry and outside? We will need to still venture out for feeding purposes at the very least.
We may have to resort. We may have to resort to more practical means than the magic we tend to rely on. At least until we find a way through this. But it's probably best we all speak together on that topic.
Of course. Lead the way, sir.
Cass just starts walking.
Maruna.
Everything went without event, he says, as he's walking alongside all of you.
For the most part.
Good. All right.
Yeah,
If
Hasib
Cass
keeps
wants
his
to
mouth
say
shut.
something, he can. But
Hasib says nothing. He is not good at lying. He just sort of, oh, that wall. Did we change the picture on that wall?
Okay, I think when we get to the library and people start going in the door, Cass is making sure he's the last one other than Jordy, and as he passes Jordy, he'll say, "I need a word when you have a chance," and he'll go
Right.
and he'll sit between Quangle and Jordy wherever they've sat.
When you enter the library, you'd find Quangle with the smoker jacket off. His sleeves, his shirt sleeves are rolled, and he is just tearing through bookshelves. Just, I know it's here. That I went through all of the books in this section. Where is it? Because he's still looking for the book that's not up there.
is
Steve,
it
did you take another book out of the library?
I have taken books out of the library in the past. Yes.
Dr. Quangle, are you looking for this one?
Which book do you hold up? Oh, hold on.
She'll
Which book do you hold up?
in the seed book.
Ah, the book with no color.
Yes, dear Maruna, thank you. We were really looking for this. You should have signed it out. And Quangle will take the book. And
I didn't sign it out because it doesn't have a title.
I'll address that in the log.
It's
That is my
it's also
failing.
not it's not in the catalog. I noticed when I was going through it.
Yes. You have been very helpful, Maruna. I will ensure that it is properly logged. Progress takes time, and luckily we are immortal for the time being, so we have plenty of time.
Understood.
Quangle puts the jacket back on. All is right with the world. So, how was your trip?
Fairly well.
Cass takes out a cigarette and lights it.
She does. Maruna does kind of shoot a like almost guiltily look back towards Cass.
All right then, one of those then. All right. Well, I'm glad you're all
Well-
back safe. Well, Hasib, would you go get your sire? We must all come together and discuss things.
Of course. And Hasib almost skips to his sire, wherever his sire is at, to bother her, to get her to join.
Sure thing. Philomena's just kind of off to the side, looking through a book as she looks up to you and goes, "Oh, you're back. I take it the others are back as well."
They are, and we are all alive. This is good. Anyway, we are having a meeting. If you would join us, please, sire.
Very well. That she stands and enters into the library as well, book at her side.
Mr. Price, no smoking in the library, please.
I would argue that current times warrant it.
Quangle looks at Jordy. Jordy.
What about the cigarette?
He looks at Jordy, he drops it on the floor and ashes it on the floor with his foot.
There's a little bit of an internal response, but then he looks over at Quangle and there's a slight smirk on the side of his face because that's actually a point in his favor between the two.
Quangle is staring at the carpet that now has cigarette ash and probably burnt. This is carpet that we can't replace right now because we are destitute. Noted.
The calculation in Jordy's head, it's like, Cass is being a smartass, but on the bright side, I do get to get back at Dr. Quangle a little bit, so I'll take it.
You know, that's why I'm here.
Book of Grudges. Cass's name is in the Book of Grudges.
Oh,
There's
no.
definitely a book of grudges, yeah.
I believe that we have a number of problems before us, but no greater is that of what's happening with our blood. And we have few answers, and I think we're going to find few answers here. Philomena proposed a field trip of sorts. But I fear that
one I imagine improbable.
Indeed. At least not through normal means, right?
Yes.
Does anyone here have any knowledge about... Well, we know that the Regent Regent Carr had used the mirror to travel somewhere.
From what I have been able to find out from the remnants of the mirror left behind, it was... I believe it was the chantry in Washington, I believe. At least it seemed to match the markings that relates to that.
You want to go to Washington?
No. I do not think that would be a good idea. It's possible I can repair the mirror, but that will take a number of weeks to complete.
We don't have that time.
He turns to Jordy. You want to use the mirror?
We need to know more. And this shithole isn't going to tell us much.
We watched him die using it.
We did watch him die.
What happens if it goes wrong?
What happens if we do nothing?
I'm not saying do nothing, I'm saying don't walk through the mirror.
And I'm saying that if we don't find the right answer, we're all dead.
We're dead anyway.
What if we travel? traditional meat.
Well, yes, we could fly with an airplane.
At night. Probably not in one day. In a few.
Do we think it wise for all of us to leave the city with the Unbound on the loose, with
I do
the
not think it
Assamites?
wise for any of you to leave the city, but it is possible that I might be able to. You all are needed here.
You're the only elder left, though.
We have another.
But sire, you have just arrived. We can't have you leaving us in this time. Our strength is being together. Separating now, weakens the group that we have.
You all, I'm sure, will do fine on your own. As well, I can handle myself, even without my thaumaturgic abilities. That is only if it is thought to be necessary.
We do need answers.
I was attempting to find some of the writings and things left behind by the former regent, but from what I can tell is office seems to be completely empty, so I assume someone has gone through it.
Yes, I would assume our new head of security will be figuring that one out. He says that without looking at Cass.
I can try.
Did you look at Did you look at the book we just brought back in? The one I handed to Dr. Quangle.
May I see the book, Dr. Quangle?
Of course. Here you are. Quangle hands the book over.
She opens it. It means to look through it. And then another page. Then another page. Then another page. What is this?
Hasib found it.
Hasib
Closes
jolts
the
a
book.
little bit.
Were you able to make sense of any of this?
All we looked at it together. All we could find was something about a seed.
A seed. She opens the book.
But I think it's important.
Well then, should probably continue to keep looking to this, but personally I can't make heads or tails of it.
Due to it being in French, you don't happen to know French, sire, do you?
I do know French. She opens the book again. No, I can't make any sense of it.
Wait, what? And as he goes over to look as well,
She kind of
Is
hands
it-
the book to you.
is it written in French still?
No, for you it's written in English. And it says, you see the writing. It kind of has like writing and then it continues with the text. And the writing says, for your eyes only.
As he blinks a few times unnecessarily.
And then it returns to the regular text. In French, from what you can tell.
How odd. Well, okay. We'll look into it. We'll do our best with research.
Of course. No. Perhaps I might be able to see what I can find involving seed.
Mark?
Yep.
Is it possible we moved away from the scene where I was going to go try and find Kess's number?
Yes.
At the same time, I was going to do that because we talked about getting the clan together for a talk. I was going to call Caius at the same time. Is that something we can say happened?
Absolutely.
If I reached him, it was just simply Philomena's alive. We're meeting to discuss a go-forward plan, and he would leave it as simple as possible. He wouldn't even wait to hear back.
Yeah, but basically you hear, like, the phone answers, you say the words, and then you hear the phone hang up.
Right. Also, I think Jordy's gonna say there is one other thing that might leave us some bit of information, and with that, he'll go over to the library counter and try and pull the chest out, Mark, that we found from the secret room.
So you, with
remember to use the stick. It'll burn you.
Some cloth and a stick to hold it up, and you bring over what looks to be this kind of small-looking chest-like thing that he just brings over and places on the table, and you hear it as a thud as it lands. You can see that Jordy is very careful not to touch it. Not with his bare hands, at least.
It is warded or trapped. I found this using my link to the chantry. It was a secret room for the regent. Likely contained something important. I tried to open it, and it burned me, like acid would burn someone.
Does it have a lock? If we wore really, really thick gloves, could we? Or a key? Is there a keyhole?
There looks to be a little place where there would be a key.
The extent of our research into it was using the cloth and stick method to move it around. So we haven't researched anything else into it, however. We're making progress.
I'll look and see if there's anything in the library on wards, maybe, unless someone is well familiar.
Hasib, do you have the book without the front page? Titleless book.
Yeah.
All right. You feel it kind of almost moving in your grip. It's like it's vibrating.
Hasib kind of he jumps very visibly. He's not very subtle. He kind of yelps a little bit. I don't. And he kind of glances down to the book.
It's barely noticeable by looking at it, but you can feel it, like, vibrating. But to anyone else, it just looks like Hasib got scared by a book.
Say Jordy didn't even notice. He just kept going. Yeah.
Maruna kind of looks at him, just like a sort of concern.
Hasib's gonna flip it open again, kind of like looking around the room for a second and smiling, like nothing strange going on here. He's just flipping to a random page, you know, for fun as we stand around here.
It contains, as you open through a random page, eventually you find one. It's a spell, specifically a ritual. The ritual itself is called the Ritual of Unbinding.
does given a quick glance, does it seem like a complex ritual that would take a lot of time?
It requires some special things. For example, it requires a silver key. The key itself has to be made out of silver. And the ritual itself takes about uh, a about 2 hours to complete. But with it, you can unlock wards, and specifically in this case, it mentions it has a few what look to be glyphs or symbols at the bottom of the page. That looks like it's been added later, as if written in a different pen.
He sort of reads it over very quickly and absorbing it. Actually, I think I have some avenues I can explore for the wards. On the box. It may take some time, however.
Very good, Hasid. Thank you.
Oh,
It appears things are progressing. Do we want to perhaps look down a different line of effort? The divination spell for the unbound. Would it be worth casting it now?
Just so you know, to
Jordy comes
learn,
back from
to learn the divination ritual will take you 8 hours to learn the actual ritual to be able to perform it. So you have to actually study the intricacies of it and understand it a little better.
Okay.
I'd be happy to help with it.
One thing I will also note as we focus in on a clock, it is currently 3 a.m.
We don't have 8 hours.
Well then, we'll make that our next task for tomorrow evening. Hasib can work on the unbinding his ritual, and Maruna can assist with the divination spell. I would assume, Cassie, you'll be changing out a light bulb.
I have other things to attend to.
Ah, yes. The door.
And
I think Jordy comes around the corner at this point. Did I overhear that we found something? Will it assist us in opening the box?
Hasib can.
I believe I can.
I imagine that will be a tomorrow affair.
Yes, given the time, it should be. We must do something about that gargoyle, though. Can't be good for the property value.
Philomena.
Yes. She seems to be a little bit distracted herself. She turns to you.
May I have a word in private?
Very well. This way. She steps out of the library, opening the door into another room.
Cass will go out. He's going to lead her to, like, wherever the staircase leading to where they all sleep is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to say, wait here a moment. And he'll jog upstairs.
She waits.
He will come back with a bundle of papers and documents. And he doesn't hand them to her right away. I know you two knew what was happening and you didn't tell us.
I did what was requested of me.
That's how bad things happen.
If I was to inform you of every bad thing that happened within this clan, we wouldn't get anything done.
I've seen worse. Regardless, he'll hand her the letters that he has. He's made copies, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
And he flips the flyer forward that he has. This was with them, so I'm assuming it means something to you.
Narrows her eyes and looks at it. No. Why would he have something like this? He didn't catch me as a museum enjoyer.
My guess is it has something to do with all of this. And he kind of gestures generally. I assume Jordy and Quango filled you in.
Yes.
And you said you can't do thaumaturgy.
I can, but it is unstable.
It most certainly is.
Tell me, have you ever noticed yourself being access to powers not normally found in the blood of the Tremere?
You mean me being good at things that aren't ours?
Yes.
I'm surprised Caius didn't tell you.
Well, if it is, know that it seems to be part of the signs of what has been happening. A mutation in the blood.
The answer to your question is yes.
I thought as much.
Consider this a favor done for all of us.
I see.
Don't tell Jordy I had that.
I won't.
Let me know if you need help. And he'll start walking back towards the library.
You shouldn't keep secrets from your fellow clan members.
Secrets are the only thing that's kept me alive this long.
You sound like your sire. With that, she turns away and begins to walk off.
He doesn't go to the library.
Where does he go?
I think he just goes and sits in the foyer.
Alright. With that, what is everyone else up to for the time being?
Ringo's putting a small rug over the burnt part of the carpet. So there's just a rug out of place, just like, okay, this is here, this is fine, this is okay.
Hasib has probably done two things. One, he's kind of poring over the book a bit obsessively, but he's also probably called for a ghoul to send a note to the quartermaster or for two things: oddly enough, a silver key and documentation on insurance for vehicle insurance for the van.
All right.
Oh.
I think Jordy's gonna. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You go.
Right. Jordy's gonna go to his office, and I'm just curious. Can he tell how the wards work with his connection to the chantry?
Mm-hmm.
How it determines who's allowed in and who isn't?
All right. Make me we'll say this one is going to be an. Yeah, let's say intelligence and occult. This would be difficulty 7.
Nope.
Yeah, no successes. Botch does not count for this. As you're focusing in, you feel that connection with this, with the wards, waver for a moment. As your connection with this whole place kind of shudders. And you can even feel it as there's like a shuddering of the walls in the room before the connection fades once more to the back. You're unsure. All that you know is that the wards within this place is controlled internally by the core. It's probably at this point you kind of think you're not quite sure exactly what the core is. You haven't seen it in any diagrams of the chantry, nor any other chantries for that matter. Seems like the core here might be unique to this chantry itself.
Here? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I think out of frustration, he just picks up like a plaque that's on, or like a decoration that's on his desk, and he just throws it at the wall as hard as he can, and then gets up and I think he's gonna go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Maruna's gonna actually go look for Philomena if she's still in the chantry.
She is still around.
But first, before she goes to Philomena, she will pass through the foyer by Kess and just say, I know I don't. I'll hold up. Whatever. It's like you need.
You're cutting out really,
you're
really
cutting
bad.
out.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know why. Today it seems to be. I wonder if my mic settings got fiddled with. She'll just say, I know I asked a lot of you, and I don't take it lightly. I appreciate your help, and I will hold up my end of the bargain, whatever that looks like. So, whatever you need, just let me know.
For now, I need you to leave me be. I'm not in a good mood, and I don't want to be held responsible for what I say or do.
She'll just nod and then she'll leave.
Alright. You continue through and eventually find yourself running into Philomena. He looks to you. Maruna.
Let me. Yes. I have a few questions for you.
Yeah, yes.
Hasib, you're his sire, and he thinks very highly of you, even without the blood bond. If you... Do you care about him like he cares about...
Maruna. Hasib is not a child. He was chosen for a reason. Because he is good at what he does. Because he is highly intelligent. And because he is a natural when it comes to these sorts of things. I would ask you, do not underestimate my child again.
I am not underestimating him quite the... I know well of Hasib's talents, and he has had them far longer than he has been a part of this chantry, and I have known him far longer than he has been a part of this chantry. He is highly intelligent, and he is talented, and he is also a person with feelings. He is not a tool for you to use. So, you have an ounce of empathy left in whatever we have, where a heart is supposed to be, then I'm asking you to look out for him, not just as your pupil, your extension of your power, but as a person. He deserves to know the truth.
I warned them. They didn't listen to me. I warned them that you would not have what it takes to be one of us. And it seems I was confirmed right. With that, she turns around and leaves.
Maruna will go to her room.
With that, you each complete whatever preparations you have to do before the time arrives that you must enter the day sleep. Upon which we see the rise of Sunday morning. The sun rises over the chantry as all of you are pushed into the deepest bounds of the torpor-like sleep. It is at that point in time, before the beginning of Sunday night, that we will call the end of today's episode. with that, why don't we say our goodbyes? Actually, before that, I'm going to do some important stream stuff. I would like to do a big thank you to our 3 most recent subscribers. We have a big thank you to, here we go, to Vivid Bees, and to Minehack. I think Minehack. That sounds right. And also our recent subscriber, Serpent Muse. Thank you for placing your trust in us creating fun shows and that you want to see more of them. So, thank you very much. And with that, we will do our outros. This week, we are going to start off with Zach. Zach, why don't you give us your outro?
All right.
Oh,
Yes.
and
so I am.
big thank you to Marvel Maven. Marvelly
Oh,
Maven,
yeah, that just came through.
who just subscribed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I am Zach, and I just played Hasib. Very lots of emotions. This session was great. I loved it. So much more. I have so many notes that I have taken. As Hasib would be proud of me and my notes, but I'm gonna have to figure out how it's all gonna play out. Also, we have a really neat book now. Hasib's a little confused as to why the hell a book is talking to him, but he does like books, and that sounds like a cool friend to have. But yeah, I can't wait for the session next week.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good fun. Up next, Ree, why don't you give us your outro?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ree. I have played Maruna today, and she has had quite a day. Quite an emotional roller coaster. But that is the life of the kindred. And yeah, I had a great time this session. I'm very excited for next session. You can catch me as well on Mondays with Mortal Rolls. We stream Pathfinder 2e game. We actually just finished our second season, and we'll be starting a new little mini adventure soon, so it's a great time to tune in if you haven't before. And other than that, hope everyone has a wonderful evening or morning or wherever it is where you are, and super excited to see you all next week.
Gonna be good fun. Alright, then up next, Emily, why don't you give us your outro?
Hi, I'm Emily. I played Kess, and he had an emotional roller coaster, but it was a very low roller coaster. There weren't any highs to those emotions. So yeah, he's having a time. He did reveal one secret he had, which was every document that region had at some point. So he's getting there.
Wonderful. Up next, Cyberbro, why don't you go next? Give us your outro. So I deal with some tech issues.
No worries. I am the Cyber Bro. Today I played Dr. Quentin Quangle. And good episode for the good doctor. He does need to find carpet replacement. And Kess has entered into a very deadly game of anxious cat versus well-dressed cat. So, welcome to the fray.
Wonderful. And last but certainly not least, Bob, why don't you give us your outro?
Ticking Time Bob Gaming here. We do a whole bunch of Pendragon with a lot of these lovely folks over on my stream. We also do other games sometimes. We have a new game starting up with a whole bunch of friends from across the streaming on Twitch. So we'll be starting the session 0 of that this Saturday. It is a story of the Topaz tournament in Rokugan, Legend of the Five Rings, and we have a pretty big cast of that very short 4 to 8 episode twist. But we have friends from Mortal Roles. We have friends from All Things Fantasy, friends from CatsMeow show, and of course, folks our friends that stream with us on those things. And I forgot someone, GM of Revan. I hope that's it. I'm sure I still forgot someone. But yeah, we're going across a whole bunch of different streams for this short-term game, and looking forward to it.
All right, wonderful. And I have been your storyteller for tonight's evening, Mark, aka the Cat's Meow. This is the Cat's Meow RPG show. We hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you'll join us next week as well. I will be announcing some new projects that will be being released soon enough, such as the second season of Isle of the Damned, known as Isle of Ragnarok. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, I do also want to do a big thank you to Ree for the lovely character design that she has done, and also helping design this lovely overlay. She put it all together, and honestly, it looks fantastic. So a big thank you to Ree, as always.
I put my art on Instagram finally, guys.
Hooray!
Saw that. Yeah,
It's sorcery.art. I'll put it in the chat.
Sorcery.art. Go check that out. I will add a link to the description of the YouTube videos.
Thanks.
I'll also see if this will. There we go.
Because your Re is sorcery. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Play on words.
Yeah.
I main sorcerers in D&D, so.
Nice.
But yeah, wonderful. With that, we're gonna say goodnight. Hope you've all enjoyed, and I hope you are excited for the next session. Stay tuned, stay fresh, and keep an eye out for more fun TTRPG goodness. Goodbye, y'all.
And Malkavians with syringes.
And
No.
Malkavians with syringes. Technically
Reuse
thin
this
blood.
one, please don't.
I don't. None of them.
Alright, we'll go visit Unclaimed Night Bun, Void Doll.
Ooh.
Alright, have a good night, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
It's gonna take about 10 seconds, so.
Someone say something.
I,
Talk.
I say we invite all those
That was
people that
weird.
we just came across and Dr. Keen to the chantry for a party.
And
The mixer.
we're
Yeah,
off.
that's
Our first
cool.
chantry mixer.
Good night, y'all.
Oh, come
Bye.
in.
Nice.
Asamites too.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go